Teisha with Shalom TV's News Update. We begin with our Election 2012 report, where the 2012 Democratic National Platform was released Monday, just ahead of the Democratic National Convention taking place this week in Charlotte, North Carolina. In the platform, the Obama administration reiterated its, quote, unshakable commitment to Israel's security, citing the $10 billion in aid the U.S. has sent to Israel in the past 3 years, and emphasizing funding of the Iron Dome missile defense system. The platform stated that the president's consistent support for Israel's right to defend itself and his steadfast opposition to any attempt to delegitimize Israel on the world stage are further evidence of our enduring commitment to Israel's security. And staying with the convention, Rabbi David Wolpe has confirmed that he will be delivering the invocation in Charlotte Wednesday evening. Wolpe will precede speeches by Elizabeth Warren, Democratic candidate for the U.S. Senate seat from Massachusetts, and former President Bill Clinton, with a prayer which he says will focus on the ideals of the United States. The conservative rabbi who leads Sinai Temple in Los Angeles was this year's most influential rabbi in America, named by Newsweek magazine, and also the author of 7 books and widely known as a newspaper columnist and television and radio commentator. And staying with politics, the JTA reports that the chairman of the Democratic Party in California has apologized to those who took offense at his remarks comparing Republican statements to Nazi propaganda, specifically for comments he made directed at vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan. Chairman John Burton made the comments to a local radio station in Charlotte, reportedly saying of the Republicans, they lie and they don't care if people think they lie. He also said in apparent reference to Ryan, as long as you lie, Joseph Goebbels, the big lie, you keep repeating it, you know. Goebbels was Minister of Propaganda for the Nazi Party and was a close associate of Adolf Hitler. Following an uproar over the remarks, which were condemned by Republicans and Democrats alike, Burton released a statement saying, to correct press reports of my recent comments about Republican lies, I did not call Republicans Nazis, nor would I ever. Further saying, if Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, or the Republicans are insulted by my describing their campaign tactic as the big lie, I most humbly apologize to them or anyone who might have been offended by that comment. Turning to Israel now, where a young Orthodox Jewish Israeli girl from the town of Beit Shemesh won a landmark court case with the help of the Israel Religious Action Center, or IRAC, the public and legal advocacy arm of the Reform movement in Israel. The case was brought by 15-year-old Ariella Marsden after she was asked by a bus driver on a public bus to move from her seat at the front of the bus to the back, after several ultra-Orthodox men boarded the bus and stood next to her. Marsden was outraged, and after telling her mother what happened, they both went to IRAC looking for help. The organization provided Marsden with legal advice and helped her take the bus driver and the Egged Bus Company to small claims court, where she won the maximum of 16,000 shekels or $4,000. Executive Director of IRAC, Anat Hoffman, says this is not the first time that Orthodox women have turned to the Reform organization for help in such matters. Before 2011, there were dozens of bus lines that served the ultra-Orthodox Jewish neighborhoods of Jerusalem, which were segregated by gender, with males sitting in the front and females sitting in the back. However, in January of last year, Israel's Supreme Court abolished the buses and ruled that while voluntary gender segregation is permissible on public routes, enforced gender segregation on public buses is illegal. Beit Shemesh, which sits just outside Jerusalem, often sees conflict between the ultra-Orthodox community there and the religious Zionist and secular communities. And finally, American Jewish gymnast Aly Raisman, who recently came home from the London Olympics, winning gold for her floor exercise and winning bronze for her balance beam, and helping the U.S. to win the women's team title, will be one of the 8 inductees into the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame in April of next year in Commack, New York. Among the other honorees is American-Israeli weightlifter David Berger, who was among the 11 Israelis killed at the Munich Olympics in 1972. Berger, who was born in Cleveland, Ohio, emigrated to Israel in 1969 and made the Israeli team in 1972. While the 10 other Israeli Olympians were flown to and buried in Israel after the Munich terror attack, David Berger's body was returned to the U.S. on an Air Force jet personally ordered by then-President Richard Nixon and buried in his hometown of Cleveland. And that's Shalom TV's news update. I'm Teisha Bader.